Hey folks, it's Sunday the 2nd of April, and what a start of the month. I just woke up to the news that Ryuichi Sakamoto has passed, and then we lost Ray Shulman yesterday. You know something? We are psychic. I'll say it like that generally. I know I'm psychic. Yesterday, while working on music, and actually it started Friday night, I was getting these overwhelming feelings of ennui, sadness, almost on the verge of tears. Couldn't quite put my finger on it. When I got the news that Ray Shulman died, that wasn't it. I mean, when I got the news, it wasn't like, oh, that's it. That's what I was feeling. But this morning when I wake up to my phone full of messages from people, because people know how much I love Sakamoto, I said, that's what it was. You know, the world knew that Sakamoto was in stage 4 cancer and didn't, stage 4 cancer you don't generally beat. There are some people who do. He has a new album, and it was going to be put out, and then they pushed back the date of the release to May. I also saw where there was supposed to be some sort of event in May with Sakamoto. And honestly, all along, seeing this stuff, my thought was, I just hope he's still here. I hope he makes it. And he is gone. Death is tough. It's reality, but it's not an easy thing to deal with for us, is it? We have all kinds of thoughts and feelings and beliefs about life and death. And losing loved ones, important ones, always calls those thoughts into question. I've dealt with a lot of death. Both of my parents, friends. In my work, I've actually come upon scenes where people are either had just died or die in front of me. That's actually happened. It never gets easy. It never gets any easier. Sakamoto was prolific. This is the last thing. I just bought this by him. The soundtrack to Beckett, because he's so deep. He gives so deeply of his soul when he makes music. This latest batch of music that I'm writing, I'm really happy with it, really proud of it. Some of it is really moving to me. I never attempt to try to write like Sakamoto because I don't understand music theory well enough. But the thing that I try to encapsulate a lot in my music is beauty. And one of the other artists that to me is, his work is beautiful. So much of his work is just gorgeous, is Ryuichi Sakamoto. Rest in peace. I can only imagine how Hosono is feeling, because he is the oldest. He was the oldest of the Yellow Magic Orchestra. And now both of his partners are already gone. Hang in there, Hosono. Don't be leaving us. I do think about this a lot. I do think about death daily because of our age. My brother-in-law, Floyd Norman, just lost one of his best friends, Leo. I forget Leo's last name. I'd have to look it up. There was an article in the Hollywood Reporter about him. Pioneering black animator and one of Floyd's closest friends. So on the Zoom yesterday, I made it a point to spend some focus on Floyd because I love my family, but my family are like most people. It's like a lot of times you don't see what's right really in front of you. And so I get on the Zoom and they're babbling on about all sorts of stuff. Stephanie, you know me. You remember this. And I brought attention. We need to pay attention for a minute to Floyd. How is he doing? How is he feeling? And how's Adrian feeling? This is one of his best friends. So So rest in peace, Ryuichi. Rest in peace, Ray. I contacted Gary Green by email when I got the news about Ray Shulman yesterday. And sure enough, Gary responded. Gary really is a friend of mine, so I almost feel personal. Well, I do feel personal loss. I was actually hoping to interview Ray eventually. The word was, and no one was saying specifically why, but there, when I said, "Wait, well, what about Ray?" it was the response was, "It's not a good time right now." And that was the message. It's not a good time right now. I was hoping to talk to Ray eventually. He was one of the magical brothers that made Gentle Giant so special. Multi-instrumentalist, his bass lines are amazing. I can credit Ray Shulman for helping me to be considered a legendary bass player here in Omaha, because in the early days of teaching myself how to play the bass, Gentle Giant bass lines were extreme challenges to me, and I always felt proud when I could crack them. Because learning those type of lines, it was like almost like downloading direct information about how to find the bass parts without understanding music theory. Because, like I say, music is very mathematical, and I wasn't bad at math, but I wasn't great at it. So, just for the, I'll just grab a few, because I have a ton of Sakamoto and Yellow Magic Orchestra pieces in my collection. Between the three members, their solo step in YMO, I have over 300 titles that I can think of for sure that are part of the Ryuichi Sakamoto family. He is one of my favorites. So here's some. I just grabbed some. There's some Sakamoto over here, and there's some Sakamoto over here. There's some Sakamoto in the bedroom, because there's so much. BTTB solo piano album. I forget who sent this to me. It was a wonderful gift. Someone in the VC sent this to me. People are so kind to me. Both the album and the EP. Back to the Basics, I believe, is what this means. BTTB. I just shake my head. Sakamoto. This is a 12 inches of the single of the song Heartbeat from this album Heartbeat. I went ahead and put this on here because I've never come across a vinyl version of this album. I love this cover, and I love a couple songs on this album. It's not my favorite Sakamoto, because that's the other thing about Sakamoto. To me, like the Beatles, Sakamoto always had something special on almost every record. So I don't have one favorite Sakamoto album. This was a item I brought back from Japan. The summer I worked in Japan in '94 is when Sweet Revenge came out. And this is the limited edition CD version that came out in this big box. Once again, I don't have a copy of this on vinyl, and I've never seen a copy of this on vinyl in real life. But this has a libretto, notes, just wonderful. Excuse me. I like the fact that Sakamoto always kept up with the times, experimented, collaborated freely and broadly, was very much into social justice. A lot of his work was with consciousness, landmines. I can't even go to all the stuff, but he was a conscientious lover of life. Remixes by Butterfly of Diggable Planets. Moving On. Really good. Honestly, because I've been thinking about this so much, a wave of grieving sadness I'm not feeling like you do a lot when people die. It'll probably come later. I had the same experience with. It took me a while to really process my mother's dying, even though I was the one that had to bury her literally. That took a while to really hit me. Sakamoto might be the same. We Love You with Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys on here and Robert Wyatt of Soft Machine, both singing on this song with Sakamoto. People don't know. How about this? With Thomas Dolby, Fieldwork. Sakamoto's a bad motherfucker. He was. Anger and Grief, when he did that thing with the orchestra, he's just done some amazing things. Tokyo Joe, that bright, happy Japanese version of jazz pop. Pop jazz, there you go. I'll call it pop jazz. With Kazumi Watanabe. This is killer. Really happy, upbeat music. I'm also thinking of his ex-wife, Akiko Yano. Wonder what she's thinking and feeling. Sakamoto. Neo Geo. You bet I'm going to play some Sakamoto today, even though I have more work to do. You know, I started another track yesterday. I started writing another new piece of music yesterday. I love it. Risky with Iggy Pop. See what I'm saying? Sakamoto was so badass. He worked with everyone. He's even on a Public Image album with John Lydon. Same thing with Ray Shulman. I had forgotten that Ray Shulman is the one who produced A.R. Kane, one of the originators of shoegaze, dream pop. For real, I have that album. Ray Shulman on top of shit. That's where I'm at about this. My collection. I love what I love, but I love really good music, and I can tell original shit. Original shit. We lost two giants of art this weekend. Mediabond live. I also loved how Sakamoto hired and worked with people of all ethnicities, looking for that essence, looking for the best people for the job. And this band is almost all black, and they just kill it. This is a real neat find that I found. And this is, someone tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am. This is a test pressing, and on one side is the Kane Gang, some crap. On the other side is Shogunade. It's a remix by Sakamoto off the Neo Geo album that's never been released. This is unreleased. As far as I know, I don't know where this remix is commercially available because I've never found it. I found this test pressing, made a cover for it. I have deep respect for Ryuichi Sakamoto. Esperanto. Is this the thing he made? Yeah. Oh, in conjunction with Nam June Paik, that artist who with the TVs. Beauty. Yeah, this is a really special one. This one came out. This just knocked me out. So I had a real strong reaction to this album when it came out. It's just killer. And then the single off of it, You Do Me with Jill Jones, one of Prince's ex-girls. I was hoping, I had my fingers crossed, maybe Sakamoto will bust through commercially on this one. It didn't happen. And then here, fantastic album, Futurista. That's just a small segment of what I have. This is tough, folks. We'll all go there. Sometimes I'll be sitting there thinking about passing. I'll be missing my brother, seeing little things in the house here of his and his presence, and thinking about the fact that it's so weird to think about death because when I die, I'm gone. It's the end of my story. I'm gone. I don't get to come back and see what's happening. That's it. It's over. It's weird. It's weird to think about that. It's like, you know, all this stuff that I live with and my life that surrounds me, it's like when I die, it's like it means nothing to anyone else. Even my family, they hopefully, I'm hoping, I hope to live a long time. But I do hope that, when I go, that my family comes and gets this shit. I have it legally for them, but they're all out in fucking California. So, that's it. That's the finality of death. Sakamoto is gone. There's not going to be any more. There's more music that will be released, but he is no longer here. Ugh. That sucks. Ray is no longer here. The people that we love that are gone, they're gone. It's a tough one. Rest in peace, Ray and Ryuichi.